Good morning, and welcome to the Boulder Valley Unitarian Universalist Fellowship. I'm Nicolette Toussaint, and I'm leading this morning's service in which we will pay attention to paying attention. I'm joined by Service Associate Margaret English. The pronouns for both of us are she and her. Today's music is provided by Tad Coriath and the Chamber Choir. Today's tech team is Deborah Mensch and Paula Zimmerman. This past week included the memorial service for Reverend Jesse Jackson. Years ago, I was privileged to know Jesse Jackson, and I spoke with him frequently. It was a daunting experience. I am grateful to him for showing me how to lead a rally and how to preach. And I say the welcome words this morning. I'd like to do it in a call and response style that I learned from Jesse. You may remember Jesse's "I am somebody" speech. Well, your part this morning when I do the welcome will be to call back saying, "You are somebody, and you are welcome here." And Margaret's going to cue you when it's your turn. So you want to practice that with them once?
You are welcome, buddy.
And you are welcome here. Now you're going to have to really put some heart in this because Jesse's on the other side of the Rainbow Bridge, and you're going to have to be loud for him to hear you. This morning, as we do this call and response, I invite you to feel down in your bones the radical welcome we're offering with these words. You are welcome here today because in our eyes, you are somebody. In all the beauty of languages, cultures, skin tones, shapes, sizes, gifts, and challenges that come together in your uniqueness, in all the ways you experience and express gender,
you are somebody. You are welcome here.
In the beauty that is who you love and how you love, in all the ways you make your living and the places you are from, with all the traditions that inform your spiritual life.
You are somebody, and you are welcome here.
No matter how long you are away, nor how soon you will return, you will always have a home here. No matter whether you arrive with laughter in your heart or tears in your eyes.
You are somebody, and you are welcome here.
You are invited to join us with a curious mind, a loving heart, and a willing spirit. You are somebody. You are somebody special we want to know, and you are welcome here. Welcoming is so important at this church. It's part of the covenant we wrote, which describes how we want to be together. Will you join me this morning in reciting our covenant? We covenant to be a fellowship welcoming to all, where our differences are a source of deep learning and spiritual growth. We strive to promote love, reason, and respect as we work together to build a just and compassionate world. If you're new here, whether you're with us in person or on Zoom, you can experience the warmth and love of this congregation. There are many ways to get to know us and let us get to know you. Please come back to visit a few times. During the week, you'll find many opportunities to explore spiritual growth with the interesting folks in this community. Right now, those on Zoom can check out the links in the chat to help you get connected. Those here in person can stop by the welcoming table in our foyer for fellowship information and our newcomer form. It's also on the QR code in the back of the hymnal. If you'd like to see an order of service for today on your phone, please scan the QR code on our screens now or click on the link in the Zoom chat. Our book for sharing joys and concerns is next to the AV desk in the rear of the sanctuary. And Deborah's gesturing to it. Please write a brief personal note about what's in your heart today and mark whether you'd like us to read it aloud later in the service. You may share anonymously by not writing down your name. If you'd like to be contacted later by a lay pastoral care associate or a neighborhood connector, please include your contact information on the form. Our Sunday support person this morning is Pat Bultap, who's right there in a white stole, and she's waving. Pat will be at the welcome desk and available for pastoral care after the service. Everyone on Zoom is welcome to stay for social conversation following the service. If you're here in person today, you're welcome to the coffee hour in the fellowship hall. If you're on Zoom, please feel free to greet each other in the chat, and if you're a newcomer, please let us know. We'd like to know who's among us. Those of you who are in the sanctuary, it's our moment of chaos. Please feel welcome to greet each other.
Thank you. Those of you on Zoom, if you have a chalice at home, you can light it with me as I light. I'm not lighting, as Nicolette lights the fellowship chalice. So we know where your chalices are. Please write in the chat, chalice lit, in the name of your hometown, from where you are lighting them. Please say the words with me as Nicolette lights our chalice. We light this chalice for the warmth of love, the light of truth, and the energy of action. And now I'll sing the bowl again, inviting us to draw deeper into the present moment and this, our beloved community. I'm going to open now with a poem that comes from way back in Hindu religion. It's called Look to This Day by Kalidasa. Look to this day, for it is life, the very life of life. In its brief course lie all the verities and realities of your existence, the bliss of growth, the glory of action, the splendor of achievement, are but experiences of time. For yesterday is but a dream, and tomorrow is only a vision. And today, well lived, makes yesterday a dream of happiness, and every tomorrow a vision of hope. Look well, therefore, to this day, such is the salutation to the ever-new dawn.
I invite us now to rise in body or spirit, and we'll sing our opening hymn together. Chamber choir, yes, you can come up. This is number 1000 in the Teal hymnal. Morning has come, 1000 in the Teal hymnal. It will also be up on the screen.
That'll wake you up in the morning.
Yeah.
One of the ways we build community is to take the time to pay attention to what's going on in one another's lives. This morning, our joys and concerns will do that online and in person. If you're on Zoom, please type your joy or sorrow into the chat so Deborah can share them with the congregation later. Oh, unseen and unnameable spirit that moves inside each of us. Oh, invisible spirit that holds us together in community. We hear you in the joys we have shared. We feel your presence in the concerns we have voiced. When we share our sorrows, others offer comfort, and the sorrow we carry is lessened. When we share our joys, they are amplified. Some of the joys and sorrows we carry this morning must be held in the heart, waiting for the right time to be shared. We place one more stone in recognition of those joys and concerns that remain in the silence of our hearts.
Our pastoral song this morning is "We Will Carry Each Other." I invite you to remain seated, and you're welcome to sing along or just listen, whatever feels right to you today. So one of the most valuable commodities that we have as human beings is our time. How we choose to spend it, how we may lose track of it, on purpose or inadvertently. I was just telling the chamber choir, so for years I have been, as many of us, I struggle with wandering attention. I sit down and I want to focus on a task, and for whatever reason, I'm suddenly doing something else. It's like it's really frustrating, and at the end of the day, I'm like, where did all that time go? So I had an ad come up on my social media feed for this device called a brick. I don't know if anybody has seen that, but you scan it and it locks your phone for you. So you can't, it's this physical little magnet that I now have on my fridge. And so I block all these apps, and if I want to unblock them, I have to physically go to the fridge and put my phone against the brick, right? In like the walk of shame. It's like, okay, I want to go do this. I was telling them so there's many times throughout the day where, I pick up my phone to do a text or whatever, and then without thinking of it, I go to a blocked app, which for me is Scrabble. And I hit that, and this thing goes, no, this is blocked. And there's a little button you have to push that says, back to real life. So I have to hit this back to real life. So it helps me become aware of just how much Scrabble I play throughout the day. So we have a song about time and about the construct of time and our relationship to time. And there are a lot of words that go by very quickly. I want to read you a little bit of what the composer says about this piece and some of the lyrics before we sing it. Time, like money or borders between one country and another, is one of those funny human-made concepts that dictate our lives but are fundamentally meaningless if we didn't all agree to go along with it. Like, setting our clocks back an hour. And yet we experience aging, the changing of seasons, and growth undeniably. The line between time's reality and its invention is blurry, and there was no better way I could think of to depict this than by writing a repeating lyric that erodes as the piece unfolds, and the lyrics take on slightly new meanings. Time, you can spend it. When you spend it, then you're running out of time. You can save it, but to save it is to take a little time. In a minute, when you're in it, can you feel the passing time? It's an illusion, there's confusion. When they tell you now it's time to get older, to work, to waste, there's no time left to hold her, time to tell them how you feel while there's still time. 3, 2, 1, 11:30, 2 a.m., then dinner time, now to kill. I said I will, and still it flies and flies, oh time. All right.
Time, you can spend it. When you spend it, then you're running out of time. You can save it, but to save it is to take a little time. In a minute, when you're in it, can you feel the passing time? It's an illusion, there's confusion when they tell you now it's time to get older, time to work and time to waste, and there's no time left to hold her, time to tell them how you feel while there's still time. 3, 2, 1, 11:30, 2 a.m., then dinner time. Time to kill, I said I will, until it flies and flies, oh time. When you spend, you're running out of time. You can save, but to save it takes some time. In a minute, you're in it. Feel passing time is an illusion, confusion. They tell you now it's time to get older, to work, time to waste. There's no time left to hold, time to tell him. While there's still time, 3, 2, 11, 2 a.m., dinner time, now to kill. Said I Time you can, when you're running out of, save it. Take a little time, minute. Can you feel passing is an illusion? They tell you to get older, work, waste, there's no holder. Tell him, feel there's time, 1:30, dinner time, kill, will still fly. Oh, time, you can spend it. When you spend it, then you're running out of time. You can save it, but to save it is to take a little time. In a minute, when you're in it, can you feel the passing time? They say time to get older, time to work and time to waste, and there's no time left to hold her, time to tell him how you feel while there's still time. 3, 2, 1, 11:32 a.m. then dinner time. Now to kill that Sarah will until it flies and flies, oh fly, fly, fly on time.
You didn't answer your cell phone. A lot of people have said that to me. Do I detect a certain chiding in the tone? The assertion sounds a bit like teachers when they'd point to me in class and say, "You're not paying attention, you." As with not paying attention in class, not answering my cell phone has something to do with being hearing impaired. Because chunks of speech are missing, I have to pay extreme attention to context and body language to fill in the blanks, especially in large groups. It's exhausting. That deficit makes it stressful for me to talk and listen on a cell phone. So I'm sure I have at times peevishly responded to the "you're not answering" accusation by saying, "I don't sleep with a damn thing." The truth is, I'm an introvert who needs time to unplug from crowds, noise, and most especially electronics. I don't have Ted's box, though. I try to keep my cell phone number secret. I don't talk on my phone, I just use it for text. But there's more to my cell phone discomfort than introversion and hearing impairment. Unplugging the cell phone in this digital age, when our attention is being monopolized and monetized, feels a bit like an act of resistance. And it turns out that it is. In exploring this month's Soul Matters theme on paying attention, I came across a New York Times podcast. Here's how Ezra Klein introduces the episode, in which he interviews D. Graham Burnett, a professor of the history of science at Princeton. The steady dings of notifications, the 40 tabs that greet you when you open your computer in the morning, the hundreds of unread emails, most of them spam, with subject lines pleading or screaming for you to click. Our attention is under assault these days, and most of us are familiar with the feeling that gives us: fractured, irritated, overwhelmed. D. Graham Burnett calls the attention economy an example of human fracking. And he says it's now reached a point that calls for a kind of revolution. He warns, This is creating conditions that are at odds with human flourishing. We know this, and we need to mount new forms of resistance. In the podcast, Burnett explains why our cell phones and email and social media are so devilishly good at getting our attention. He says, attention research in the 20th century was substantially funded by the military, and they were mostly interested in learning how long people could pay attention to screens, radar screens. He continues, now, if you had given the entire US military research budget to 6 Buddhist monks in 1938 and given them 40 years to spend a few $billion, we'd have a very different theory of attention in this country than the one that is promulgated widely today. The scholarly and scientific research on paying attention reveals an odd paradox. Attention is composed of two opposite things, triggering and waiting. You're probably all too familiar with triggering, the various emotional manipulations that lure us into doom scrolling, clicking, and overconsumption. But what about waiting? The French philosopher Bernard Stiegler, whose work is considered essential for understanding the psychological and social consequences of the digital age, contrasted meaningful waiting with the immediate gratification promoted by consumer culture. Stiegler says that attention is linked to desire and that waiting is an aspect of it. Attention and the capacity for waiting both grow out of education and the formation of the individual. They are intergenerational, as the capacity to wait and the skill to attend are passed down through cultural and social means. In other words, waiting is the slow making of meaning. It's the process of anchoring our individual experiences in the long webs of connectedness that make up human experience, particularly the wisdom that is passed on to us by culture, education, and the arts. It's what we might have learned about in depth if we'd given the military research budget to 6 Buddhist monks, rather than the military for those 40 years. Stiegler warned that today's attention economy is eroding our capacity for the kind of waiting and anticipation necessary for genuine desire and hope. Professor Burnett says the same thing in other words. By reducing attention to a measurable and marketable quantity, today's digital platforms strip away the deeper and more meaningful aspects of human focus, including contemplation, creativity, and care.
And to illustrate this, I have a poem by Wendell Berry. I recently went through all my pictures that I had saved over the years and sorted through them and thought, why am I doing this? I couldn't remember what half of them were. But here is what Wendell Berry says. Once there was a man who filmed his vacation. He went flying down the river in his boat with his video camera to his eye, making a moving picture of the moving river upon which his sleek boat moved swiftly toward the end of his vacation. He showed his vacation to his camera, which pictured it, preserving it forever. The river, the trees, the sky, the light, the bow of his rushing boat, behind which he stood with his camera, preserving his vacation even as he was having it, so that after he had had it, he would still have it. It would be there. With the flick of a switch, there it would be. But he would not be in it. He would never be in it.
Ezra Klein sums up the danger of the digital commandeering of our consciousness in this way. When we cede control of our attention, we cede more than what we are looking at now. We cede to some degree control over what we will care about tomorrow. By allowing digital platforms to commandeer our attention, we implicitly agree to a world that recognizes only one form of attention, one that can be monetized. Historically, religion supplied a system of human values that counterbalanced a purely commercial view of the world. Burnett says that education and the arts still remain realms where unmeasured and unmeasurable forms of attention are valued. But all those realms are at risk. In the public sphere, what values, other than money, get our attention these days? Art, education, religion, the outdoors. These are the priceless places I go when I turn off the darn cell phone. I want to spend unmeasured hours reading about life in another century, to lose track of time while gardening, to find a rhythmic bounce on a ski slope, to become immersed in color and shape while painting, to lose myself in a piece of music by the chamber choir. Artists, musicians, athletes, and craftspeople have a term for the place they go, the realm where the clock and the ego disappear. They call it being in the flow. For some years, I taught a drawing class at Colorado Mountain College, and I called it Drawing and Creative Flow. It was based on the teaching of Betty Edwards, who wrote a classic book called Drawing on the Right Side of the Brain. The core skill that I taught is how to temporarily suppress the left brain's symbolic, language-based thinking and allow the right brain to take the lead for a while. Every one of us is born with that skill, but as we grow up, we spend more and more time hanging out with the left brain, that part of the mind that keeps track of time and to-do lists and yaks incessantly. The right brain, which is concerned with creativity, intuition, holistic thinking, and spatial awareness, generally gets shut out around the time we learn to read and become involved in symbolic communication. That class was fun to lead, but tricky to teach. The signs were clear. When students were paying attention and in the flow, the room would get so quiet you could hear the pencil scratch on the paper. I could feel the shift myself when I would be showing a technique and I would gradually lose my ability to speak. And I'm not usually at a loss for words. But there, in a nutshell, is the paradox that Stiegler identified. When I was lecturing, I was triggering. When I was demonstrating brush strokes, I was waiting. The two things are both part of paying attention, but they can't both be in your head at the same time. I hope this morning to convince you to intentionally resist the incessant digital triggering of your attention long enough and often enough to be open to the kind of meaning that comes from sustained attention, from waiting. I don't think any of us are going to throw our cell phones into the busy intersection out there, But it is crucial for us to unplug regularly. How so? One of Professor Burnett's colleagues, filmmaker and Sundance fellow Alyssa Lowe, says, quote, "The problem with people thinking that what's at stake is just their attention span is that it makes the stakes seem so much lower. We minimize the problem if we conceive of our attention only in the time it takes for us to send an email. But what if what's at stake is your personhood, your ability to care? The way that attention underwrites everything you enjoy, from baking and cooking, and reading a book, and hanging out with your friend, to caring for your kid. That's not abstract, even not if it's not numerical. And personally, I would add, it's priceless." In closing, a footnote. Filmmaker Lowe and Professor Graham Burnett are both on the faculty of something called the Strother School of Radical Attention. It's a New York nonprofit that, quote, "nurtures commitment to the diversity of attentional forms and practices and models, quote, collective inquiry that advances the flourishing of human beings, human societies, and our shared planet." That's pretty close to what we committed to do in our covenant this morning. Here at BVUUF, our attentional forms and practice usually involve sermons, music, and poetry. During our benediction in a few minutes, I'm going to offer a new and experimental one. I'll call it the Benediction Rainbow. But first, we will take our offering and extinguish the chalice.
Each week, we remind ourselves of the abundance of our lives and community, and this community by giving half our plate away to those organizations that share our values. Today, the half plate is for the Cobalt Fund. Cobalt's abortion fund is 100% donor-funded and the only independent fund of its kind in the state of Colorado. Cobalt works to ensure that no person experiences a financial burden when it comes to abortion. Cobalt believes that abortion is health care and nothing should stand in the way between you and your health decisions. You can text your donation at the number on the screen, or if you are in the fellowship today, place a donation in the offering plate as it passes. Please give generously as you so often do.
For the work of this fellowship, bringing love, reason, compassion, and justice to this world, and for Cobalt, we graciously accept these offerings.
All right, we get to sing together one more time. I'll invite the chamber choir up to help lead this one again. This is a tune maybe familiar to you, especially if it's from the Christian tradition. Holy, 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 but these are beautiful new words written by, I would say, our very own Peter Mayer. And he's so skillful at writing about nature, the wonder of nature, the beauty of nature. So I invite us to rise in body or spirit and join in singing Holy, Holy, Holy. Let's see.
Please join in our chalice extinguishing words. We extinguish this chalice, but not the warmth of love, the light, truth, nor the energy of action. Okay, as promised this morning, we're going to make a rainbow by paying attention. So you don't get confused a little later. Right now, think of your favorite color and keep it in your head. You're going to light up this color. So what we're going to do is we're going to join hands like we really do. Or if you want, you don't have to join hands. You can give yourself a hug. But the connections are important here. So you got to connect with somebody there, Margaret. So Margaret and I are going to demonstrate. What we're going to do here is I'm going to give the benediction, and then I'm going to give her a squeeze. I'm going to say my favorite color, which is cobalt blue. Turquoise. Now, don't do it yet. Don't do it yet. So we're going to go around the room. So your job is to pay attention. And when you feel the squeeze, say your color and then pass the squeeze on. Now, since we're not in a straight line, we're an interdependent web, not a straight line, this is going to go in different directions. And somebody's going to be the pot of gold at the end of the rainbow, or maybe there's going to be several. So if you think you're the pot of gold at the end of the rainbow, when it gets to you, you can say, Amen. So if you're not physically connected to somebody, if you're standing by giving yourself a hug, when you hear people next to you light up, then you can light up too. Let's see, and I think that's all the instructions. Oh yes, the people on Zoom, you can type your colors into chat. So here we go. You ready? Cobalt blue. Turquoise. Orange.
Green.
Teal. Get it, amen?
Amen.
Okay, thank you. Everybody gets it. Please be seated while Judy Schmidt gives us a few announcements.
Good morning. I'm Judy Schmidt, and I'm a member of the Leadership Development Committee. And I am pleased to introduce Anna Lesky and Harley Young for their pledge moments of words, whatever.
Okay, my name is Anna Lesky, she, her, and my husband and I officially joined as members in May of last year. I had been considering attending a UU service for a few years, but a little over a year ago, things shifted. And I knew I wanted to be in community with people who shared our values. No matter what has happened during the week, in our personal lives or in the broader world, we can come here on Sunday morning and know we're surrounded by people who are all working in large and small ways to build a more loving, just, and sustainable world for all of us. We can bring our son, Oren, in whatever state he is in that morning, and we know that everyone who is tasked with caring for him or instructing him is genuinely invested in his growth and well-being. Now onto the more nitty-gritty part. I actually work in fundraising, and I know how important pledges are to the well-being of organizations like this one. If you value this community and all of the people who work to make it run smoothly, I invite you to dig deep and support at a level that feels right to you. It truly is a special place, and I'm so proud to be a part of what goes on here.
Good morning. I'm Harley Young. I'm a little under the weather, so please forgive the murky voice. I use he, him pronouns, and I'd like to add to my very eloquent wife's words in my own humble way. The reason we have chosen to be members and subsequently lend support financially are all about how this fellowship shows up and allows others to show up. It doesn't matter what morally reprehensible, unhinged, or tragic thing happened in the world the previous week. The fellowship will be a space for acknowledgement, acceptance, processing, and ways to move forward in action. It doesn't matter what moments of beauty, awe, or the sublime happened in the week. The fellowship is a place for communal joy and mining the mundane for the meaning it contains. The meaningful, authentic work that the BVUUF does in communities of need is another huge reason for our family becoming members and pledging support. The scope and impact of that work is directly related to the resources available. So thank you for all that you do and all that you have done and all that you will do.
Thank you both very much. Sit tight, folks. I have announcements and announcements, okay? 3 pages. Okay, here we go. I'm serious. All right. This is first one is from We Keep Us Safe, Colorado. On Saturday, March 14th from 1:30 to 5, please join us in hosting a whistle kit assembly event in Fellowship Hall. We Keep Us Safe, Colorado is a grassroots initiative to help organize proactively and effectively to protect our community members from being illegally and inhumanely kidnapped by ICE. Whistle campaigns have been effective in alerting neighbors to the presence of ICE officials and in preparing them for potential immigration raids. Kits will be distributed locally. Want to raise your voice for peace and justice? Your Social Justice Council invites you to stand with others to make our voices heard. Here are some opportunities. Sign making for peace and protest. Monday, that's tomorrow, March 9th from 3 to 7 p.m. at the Lafayette Public Library. Materials and ideas will be provided. This event is family friendly. More sign making opportunities at BVUUF are coming up. Sunday, March 15th, after service in the Fellowship Hall, and Saturday, March 21st, 7:30 to 9 in the Mountain View. There will be a No Kings protest standout on March 28th at this intersection of 287 and South Boulder Road from noon to 2. Did you get that? 28th, 287 and South Boulder Road.
Judy, I just wanted to clarify that March 21st sign making is 7:30 to 9 a.m. in the Mountain View Room. Thanks.
Oh, okay, thank you. That's morning, isn't it? Okay. Okay. Next Sunday and every Sunday before services, come and join Chris and Shante for Silent Meditation Circle from 9 to 9:45 in the Red Room. No instructions, no talks, no videos, no recordings, no sign-up. Just sit with each other in silence with a brief opportunity for social action afterwards. All humans of all ages who can sit in silence are welcome. Children, bring an adult, just come in, sit down, and join us. Next Sunday, March 15th, join Wynne Montgomery to explore the power and benefits of writing memoirs and/or autobiographies. This will be from 11:30 a.m. to 1:15 in Mountain View. Bring a bag lunch if you wish. And last, bring your questions or concerns about fellowship life to coffee and conversation with elected leaders following today's services. Representatives from the board, the Committee on Shared Ministries, and Leadership Development Committee will be at a designated table on the stage in Fellowship Hall. And it so happens today I will be representing the Leadership Development Committee along with Paul Austin and Julie McKenzie. All right, now feel free to leave the sanctuary as the closing music plays. Thank you.